this is the last episode of the year. Okay, so I want to end this year by sharing you two important things. One is what is my prediction for AI in 2026, and the other thing is something that is possible to do today with the AI that will give to your AI much more power. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the two things. There's gonna be a link in the description with the deep dive article where you can read more about what I'm gonna say. But regarding the prediction, there is a few things that we need to see. Okay, first of all, observe the trend. Okay, that's how we do prediction. We observe the trend. The trend is telling us that there is massive investment in this technology, but there start to be some doubts. What do I mean by that? Okay, there is doubts actually on the technology itself. Can this technology resolve to AGI or not? Okay, there are some people thinking that is not the right technology to get to AGI and therefore super AI. That means this will split the industry, and in most cases, what's happening is that the corporation need to invest on multiple different directions. Okay, because if LLM are not the right technology for this, and they are only focused on LLM, they're gonna be left behind. We're gonna miss on a massive opportunity. So they need to spread a little bit and look wider and invest in different research. Something that, for example, Google is already doing. Okay, so again, Google is still in a well position on this, but other company will need to start doing this. But another thing that we're gonna see is how to leverage what we have today. Because it's true, by giving more data, giving more CPU, throwing more energy to this technology, it's gonna get better. Okay, that is for sure. But what we don't know if it's gonna be enough to get to AGI. But what is possible to do is to give to what we have today those ability to use tools in a better way. In the sense, tools is the most important one is memory. Okay, and we need a better memory than what we have today. At the moment, this memory feels more like profiling us. Okay, it's a memory that know who we are and therefore try to make sense and help with what we've been, working together makes more sense because it's more relevant to you. But in reality, we need a much advanced AI, advanced memory. We need a memory that, of course, know who I am, but know how I think, my values. We need this AI to know my project and for example, the work I do and the project I'm working on. It needs to know much more and much more details. So it needs to have a history of not just who I am now, like a photograph, but who I've been and what I want to be, where's my work is today, where it needs to go, and have like snapshots of this memory. Because in this can analyze the process, the speed. There's much more data, information about the process itself that can be leveraged. Okay, in a way, we can say that AI is learning through the mistakes and the wins that we do in our working together. So this is extremely important, but we can't just create this and then give it to to Google to train on, OpenAI to train on. This is unacceptable. This memory system needs to be, can be even on the cloud, okay, but needs to be only mine. I cannot share this. I cannot share the way that I think. I cannot share my intuition, my business, strategy, and all the lessons that I learned. This is mine. That should be mine. Should be not used for anybody else. And therefore, we need a better system. So, solution is it's actually owning your own AI, and that is what we're gonna see more and more. And we're going to see this more and more in a way that is different from what we've been seeing in 2025. Okay, we're going to see this through multi-agent system. So we're going to have our own custom AI that manage our memory and so on, running locally. A small system, a small LLM that is fine-tune on my work on who I am. Okay, that AI will leverage on API, basically on cloud AI, like using OpenAI, Gemini, and so on. Okay, and therefore we have a multi-agent AI that works together. The point of this here is that my small one, it's an AI that is custom for my work and manage my memory. Okay, but it is not powerful enough to do some advanced functionality. Okay, for those advanced functionality, leverage use an external AI. So that kind of system create privacy for us, but also give us access to more powerful AI, always evolving AI because they're getting better and better. So that it's what I believe what we're going to see in 2026. Now, there is another element about this 2026 that is probably regulation coming, but also we're going to see those corporations fighting more and more for our subscription, basically. They want to get the standard, okay, become the standard for coding, the standard for image generation, my standard for video generation, text generation, and so on. Okay, the idea is to become the one to use. So you will see partnership like we already seen with Photoshop. We're gonna see partnership and new software using leverages those AI model that create images, music, and so on. So the idea of becoming the standard is going to be really, really pushed forward in 2026 because the moment that you become the standard, you're winning. Okay. And of course, you can never relax. Even if you're number one, you can never relax. But the idea is getting there and create stability. So if you see, for example, in music at the moment, Suno is the one. Okay, it's the one that is winning the whole narrative. The problem with Suno is they're doing a great job, but the problem for them is that they're too small. It's a company that is cannot protect themselves from those large corporations. Okay, that is their biggest challenge. So there can happen a few things. Sooner get bought. Okay, that is it's probably really likely that this is going to happen. Another thing is Google creates its own model for making music. Okay, and they have more money, more resources, and so they could therefore become a huge competitor for Suno, lower the price to a level that Suno can afford, and put Suno out of business. Another thing that can happen, and that it would be probably a better scenario than having Google or OpenAI, one of those big corporate, would be actually software dedicated for music, like we have Logic from Apple, but we have Cubase, Pro Tools, and so on. They could do partnership with Suno and somehow become together, okay? And in that way, they would protect Suno. But also, we could see those, I don't know, for example, no Logic, because Logic is owned by Apple Computer, and they are really doing bad with AI. But we could see another company like the one that's Cubase, that they will implement AI in a way that is Suno cannot do it, because Suno has AI but doesn't have all the know-how about music production. Other company have a lot of know-how on music production. I'm saying about music, but this is can be. It's the same with Photoshop. Okay, so Photoshop have a lot of know-how and tools and so on to do editing with the images. They just need a better AI, and then they win. Okay, so we will see something happening in this more specialized app. That will be an interesting thing, because for us as a consumer, people that actually use and create with Photoshop, with Cubase, and so on, we are gonna be able to have tools that finally are more professional. Because at the moment, it's everything is like a little bit amateur. You need to do a lot of moving files and so on. Okay, you need to use more than one app to do the work. to create something that has a real, let's call it commercial value. Okay, so we are going to see a lot of this. Now, let's go into what I was saying earlier. That is about the what kind of AI we should build today. Okay, so in 2026, my idea is we've been aiming for this. Let's call it God AI. Okay, this AI that can do everything. Okay, that is this. Was the original idea by OpenAI, and everybody's been following this idea of creating this artificial general intelligence, basically an AI that can do everything, and then that will lead to artificial superintelligence. In reality, we as a human, we are not like this. Okay, we are actually narrow compared to this extremely wide AI that they are imagining. So we don't have PhD level knowledge and reasoning on everything. Okay, we are more specialized, and that made me think about the importance actually of specialization. And before I go there, let's think about this. It's beautiful. It would be amazing to have this incredible AGI. Okay, amazing. And that is why they're pushing in that direction, because it would be actually amazing. But if I think about having even just a clone of myself, okay, so an AI that can do the reasoning that I do, that is actually reliable as much as I am. And that means it's not perfect. It's going to make mistakes. It doesn't know anything, everything. But I can rely. I can have someone that, a clone of me working 24 hours, doing the job that I don't want to do, and do more work and clone it. Actually, have not just one clone. Once I clone it once, I can do, hundreds of them, and run, my businesses and do research, do work for me. That would be amazing, and that would be actually enough. That would be pretty good for me. The thing is, so if we think how this can be created, so instead of aiming for this AI that knows everything, and what's the trap there? To know everything means you don't need to somehow judge anything. Okay, so the moment that I bring an idea into this kind of wide AI, that idea is kind of need to be mapped, and it can be misunderstood because it can be anything. For AI, that object, it is the reason why it's struggling to learn things quickly. It needs a lot of data because when you put something inside, that thing can be interpreted from billions of different points of view. So unless you triangulate that element by locking it into a position, the elements can mean anything. So by giving a lot of example, what you have now, you have an AI that can, is triangulating this AI through billions of data, and now it knows what it means. For us as a human, we learn through really amount of data, okay? So my parents told me not to steal, okay? That still is not good, and be honest and so on. So I learned, easily. They told me, good, I believe you, okay? So what I have, why I could learn so fast, is because I'm already locked into a worldview, into a specific reality, into a specific reality is the right word, but I want to be more precise. Into basically, it's like something that is part of philosophy. So so it's this worldview, how I interpret reality, but also elements that are part of this reality. Okay, which is, I don't know, where I am at the moment. Okay, so space and time, my culture, okay, that where I grew up in. So there are a lot of elements that keeps me there. So when I put an element in front of me, I need to check against this smaller data set. AI instead has everything. okay, the history of humanity, all the knowledge that are present on internet. Is all anything. So you put an object there, and the object can be anything. Okay, can be anything, completely anything. So it needs to start thinking and try to lock it. So when we give a prompt, what we create somehow a way to understand those elements. But a prompt needs to be really well built, otherwise AI doesn't have enough elements to actually do a proper reasoning. And this is why we've been building, if you've been following this channel, we've been building world. Okay, a world is where the AI can reason within. So we've been giving a philosophy, we've been giving knowledge and the knowledge of who I am, about my project, and so on. We've been giving a lot of information, so the AI, instead of looking at everything, is going to look just at the limit amount of data. So now, if we apply this to building an LLM in this way, what I see is, instead of giving, an insane amount of knowledge, we should give my knowledge, okay, the same one that I have. It's really difficult to map my knowledge, understanding, my reasoning, and so on. But ideally would be to just work on me, and then I would have a clone. And because it was going to be smaller, it's going to be able to first of all be faster, but also to reason with precision, with high definition, within that reality. So AI wouldn't need, billions of examples to understand a subject. Okay, we'll need just a few, because within that system, within the world, which is high definition world, it can reason at high precision. So at the moment, what we're doing is, think about this field. Okay, this is the field of possibility, where there is all those parameters of AI. Okay, so when I start chatting with AI, I'm gonna somehow choose a path. Okay, so basically I'm gonna start here, and the AI is gonna build this path until the end. That is the output. Okay, and by reasoning, by moving from one parameter to another, it's gonna find the answer. But it's kind of billions of possibilities. Okay, so the thing is, to sometimes it can misinterpret what I'm asking and take the wrong path and go to a direction that, for me, I call it hallucination, because it was not relevant to me. But it made sense for the AI point of view. It just, from my point of view, that was misunderstanding to a level that was, well, the output is useless. Now, instead of having this unlimited, vast, field of possibilities, I have a much more narrow one, the one that makes sense to me. So the output always gonna make sense to me, because it's always within my reality. What does this mean? Now I need, instead of billions parameters, I need much less parameter. And with fewer parameter, focus on a specific reality, that means I can actually make it more dense, so having higher resolution, and I can make them more precise to what I need. So the output is going to be more reliable. Now, the instruction going to be more reliable, because cannot be misunderstood within the reality. So everything become much, much better. So I had this intuition, and then I did some research. Can this actually be done? Because it would be amazing. And I did full research, and I have a link below on this video with this deep dive article that explains what I'm saying here. Through this research, I realized actually it is a path. There are people walking this path and try to build in this way. So this makes that makes sense. So what I'm expecting is those smaller labs that are willing to build something that is more specific, more narrow, will come up more and more in 2026. And what we will see is they are going to be building AIs that can do what those more vast AI can't. Okay, because they will be more reliable, they will be more efficient, they will be smaller model. Some of them maybe can run on local machine. The challenge here, like I said earlier, is to how do I transfer my world into AI? So I've been in the last 9 months, I believe, I've been collecting basically memory logs of my interaction with AI. So AI slowly is capturing like a snapshot of our interaction. So in this interaction, there are misunderstanding, there are track of what we've been doing, how I think, what we discover together. So there is a lot of elements that can be used to then train AI. The goal at the beginning was just to record the memory of our action. Then with time I realized that actually we need to do more. We need to collect knowledge, learning experiences. So then I improve with the learning experience. But then I realized, okay, but this data actually is the perfect data for doing fine tuning. So the memory log that AI creates for me now is one that is functional and understanding our work. Okay, the process and so on, the progress of it and so on. Okay, but there is half of it is actually collecting data for the fine tuning, collecting data that we need to make AI itself understand how I think, what the work is about, and the mistake that we keep doing or the AI keeps doing. So the lesson learned from me, the lesson learned from AI. So there is a lot of data. Now, this memory log, okay, which is at the moment is it's around 600 pages. It's a document, okay. So 600 pages document. In that document, there is really important data. Now, the good thing is that I can move it. Okay, so a new AI came out. I can give this, and that AI has all the knowledge, all the memory. So think about how important it is to have a memory that you own. You can change the AI model, and they all know the same thing. So you give your knowledge, your philosophy, your business plan, your projects, and so on. And the AI is basically able to become basically yours, to have this deep understanding. You have this world that is connected to you, and whatever model you plug to it is gonna have that amount of knowledge and clear reasoning. So this is what you need to do this year. It's build this reality. Okay, I've been doing it for months, and it's working. I'm telling you, the difference is huge. So start building this, because at the it takes time. Okay, it takes time of offloading who you are, how you think, and your project, and the lesson learned. It takes a lot of time. So it's for you. It's time to start. I started 9 months ago. I can see the benefit. I can see that works. So do this, because soon we'll have incredible amount of value. The moment that we have an AI that actually can work and do work at high level, then it's too late for you to start training it. Okay, in the sense it's too late because other people are in a better position. They're going to be faster than you, and you'll stay months behind. So start today. This is something that you need to do now. Link in the description. Follow this channel, because this is what we are talking about. So this is what is my prediction for AI, and this is what we should do today. And so let's build. So think about as an architect and not as a user. So like and subscribe, and see you probably next year. Happy New Year. Ciao.